All right, aloha, Tulsi Kratz, Birdie Kratz, free radicals of all shapes, sizes, colors, denominations, orientations, and educations. Aloha from sunny Florida. I'm Dave, and this is the Radical Independent. Gabbard cries foul in Democratic National Committee poll dispute. Look, Tulsi is the only one. See, this is the weird thing. Other other Democratic candidates should be speaking up about why certain polls are accepted and why others aren't. They're not speaking up because, number one, they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to lose all of this free media exposure they're getting on MSNBC or CNN or pick a network. All right? Gabbard has to fight for her time, her airtime. That's why she takes every interview, by the way, if you noticed. And this is another thing that she could have said at the debate, which I think would have been a great answer. I would have said, well, all of these candidates on this stage, they get a ton of free media exposure. You're wondering why I go on Fox News? Because they ask me, and I don't have the amount of money or media exposure that you guys have. I don't have corporate donors, corporate sponsorship, so I take advantage of every media opportunity that I get. That's what I would say. So it's but her answer was perfect. It was a good answer. I'm just saying that if I were in a position where I wasn't getting a lot of media exposure, I would. My friend calls me up and says, "Hey, you want to be on my show?" I'd say, "Yeah, absolutely. Let's go on. Let's talk." And that would help me. It might help them, depending on what they're promoting. And I think that's the way Tulsi Gabbard is operating. Joe Rogan says, "Hey, want to do an interview again?" Tulsi's like, "Heck yeah, I want to be on there." So anyway, they talk about she's got an uphill presidential battle. Here's the poll, 6%, which again is solid. Best number she's had. And it's a perplexing number for them because they keep going back to nationally, she's only at 1 or 2%. A couple of polls that I've already commented on where her name wasn't on the board. Okay? It's like you're playing golf, you see all these names on the leaderboard, you're still playing golf, and by the way, your score has not changed. You're still, whatever it is, 2 under par. But yet all of a sudden, all the people around you are on that leaderboard, but your name has disappeared even though you're still at that same score. That's what's happening. And this is happening on purpose, people. It's happening on purpose. The Politico article, which I referenced a while ago, the establishment, they've had it. They're blowing a gasket. They don't want her on the stage saying things that hurt their Democratic Party. Because all these Democrats come around afterwards and, is she really, was that Blumenthal from Connecticut? I don't really see a coherent sort of strategy that she has. I don't see a core set of ideals. Really? I see more, she's got more solid ideas and a core, more so than any of you establishment corporatist types who just throw wedge issues at everybody each election cycle. Keep them fighting, as George Carlin would say. Keep them fighting. So again, the ruling class can just do whatever they want to do. And it's really sad because America is no longer the same type of democracy it once was. We can still change it, but most of us are, I want to say medicated, but anesthetized, is that the right word? We're really not paying attention to the important things. When I say we, I say the population at large. There's only a small sliver of us that care this much. The fact that I'm doing this channel shows that maybe I care. But there are days where I go, I should just retreat, just enjoy the life I have with my family. I'm not the youngest guy on YouTube doing this. And I think to myself, why bother? Especially when you look at this. This article will make you think, why should I bother? But I want to address this again because my fellow progressive and independent commentators, they don't really see this as the problem. They will fall back on this issue every so often and say, well, yeah, the primary might be rigged. Yeah, the way they cover it might be rigged. Yeah. So what are we going to do about that? Because until we fix that, Jill Stein said it best. You can't have a revolution in a counter-revolutionary party. And by the way, I'm not saying, for a couple of months I thought maybe the Green Party. I think the Green Party is too elitist, too fringy, too focused, too narrowly focused. Guys driving trucks out in the Midwest who drink lots of beer, they're not going to vote for a Green Party candidate. They're going to think they're just not going to relate. They're not going to feel like their voice is really being heard. You really have to overhaul the whole thing. And by the way, green sounds good on paper, but green says environment. Green says just green. You need something more independent. And much like this channel, like the Radical Independent Party, I don't know, something that mirrors that and can recruit from both the left and the right and the center. The Get Things Done Party, the For Americans Party. I mean, I don't know. There's got to be something that is closer to what the sentiment is. And by the way, that sentiment is growing both on the left and the right. All right, it's growing, I think, more on the left because the right seems to have bought into the idea that I want all of my wedge issues taken care of, and that's more important to me than my economic interests. Until you get sick or till you have a family catastrophe, something happens where all of a sudden you become far more independent and progressive in your belief system. You know, if your life is going well, then you kind of don't care that the rich folks are not being really taxed and they're taking a lot of profits for themselves and not investing in the community and so forth. It's just an observation that I make. And it's true. I mean, Jeff Bezos, come on, man. That's just... it's incomprehensible how much money that guy makes. And you got the fifth richest guy right now in the world running for president here in the United States. His name is Mike Bloomberg. Now, he's going to spend millions of dollars on advertising where he could go into a community like Flint and say, I'm going to fix your water problem. Say it costs $1 billion. Mike Bloomberg has, 58 of those or 53 billion at his... So he would take 1/53 of his wealth and fix a community's water problem. To me, that I could, he could go to his grave knowing that he helped people, millions or at least hundreds of thousands of people, have clean drinking water. But instead, he's going to waste probably that much money on his presidential campaign. It's insane. In a news release Friday, Gabbard charged that the Democratic National Committee refused to recognize the Globe-Suffolk poll for purposes of qualifying candidates for the next presidential debate. Now, the fact that she just acknowledged this drives people crazy in the Democratic Party. That she continues to call them out. Because the new line from guys like Blumenthal is she doesn't like being a Democrat. She doesn't sound like a Democrat. Why is she a Democrat? If she doesn't like it here, it's like Donald Trump. If you don't like it here, get out, right? Same mentality, just different topic. And she says, again, this is another example of the DNC being arbitrary. Yeah, it is. And if I'm in a system that doesn't work, what is the first thing we should be doing? Reforming the system. That's what we should be doing. But we're not. We're just playing the horses like we did the last time. We're putting our bets down. I've got the long shot horse, but I've been saying all along that racetrack the horses are on, it's tilted. It's tilted neo. It's got the neo tilt, all right? The Democratic National Committee, which organizes the debates, could not be reached for immediate comment. Shocker. Of course, they talk about how she clashed with Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, both of whom shouldn't be running for president. Mayor Pete is the new darling, but he's not ready for prime time. He's going to get destroyed. If he were to be the nominee against Donald Trump, I don't care if you like Trump or not. I don't care if you think he's a bully. I don't care about any of the wedge issue, politically correct nonsense. Donald Trump, all right, is a formidable candidate when he's in a general election. All right. He made Hillary Clinton very uncomfortable, and it was very effective, and that was part of the reason he won. And people, they weren't rooting for either one of these people, but they figured, let's take a chance on Trump. We already had a Clinton. And I understand that. I completely get it. And again, here's the dust up with Hillary. They bring this back up again. Newsweek talks about RT America, basically. Hey, RT America, they're evil. Guess what? RT America does some of the best independent work on television right now. And if you ask anybody who works on the channel, who works for Russia Today, they're going to tell you that they have free, independent discretion to do whatever they want to do, to talk about what they want to. There are no guidelines that come down that say, okay, Vladimir says this is what you talk about today. I guarantee you none of these people would be working for them if they didn't have the creativity to do what they wanted to do. Now, some people will say that being hardcore left makes you a Russian. Okay, kind of like communism, left-wing, progressive. The funny thing is, this is the Democratic Party, who 30 years ago was cozying up to Gorbachev, who was more of a problem, I think, than Vladimir Putin. So it's weird things have happened. The paradigm has shifted. The thing is on its head. Whatever cliche you'd like to use, it's currently here. So again, and then they were even talking about the Democrat who is trying to get Tulsi's seat. You know, a lot of people have said, well, Tulsi just bailed on running for Congress because she knew she was going to lose. No, I think she was up by like 30 points when they did the first poll. And she decided to just be true to who she is and devote all her time so people won't say, hey, you know, you can't do both. And so she's decided that she can't do both, which I think is an honorable thing. And it shows her devotion to this. Now, what do you learn from this story other than it's, again, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result? You learn that the system is broken. And I've been talking about the system, and I'm tired of doing videos about the system, but I don't see other people really tackling this issue. I see, rather, a lot of people who are out there who are documenting the horse race. And each time I see an unfair ruling come down from the ruling class, I say to myself, well, we need a workaround. We need independent media debates. There have got to be a few independent types like myself with larger platforms, with better equipment, who can say, hey, who wants in on a debate that will air at the exact same time that the DNC debate airs? All right? Seriously. Go right up head-to-head against it. Maybe, you know what you do with it? Maybe start it like a half hour earlier or an hour earlier. Because that will get people watching and listening to people talking about real issues, and maybe they'll just get hooked. And they won't be tempted to switch back to the other debate. I don't know. Something, though, needs to happen, and it needs to happen now. It should have happened 6 months ago. It should have happened in 2017 after the 2016 rigging that took place. I'm throwing that out there. Is this what is happening to Tulsi Gabbard here was predicted. It has been predicted, but yet people kind of just say it's wrong and let's cheerlead for Tulsi. Okay, I've been cheerleading for Tulsi. I don't have to convince more people to vote for Tulsi Gabbard at this point. What I need to do is to convince more people to look into this corrupt system. Because no matter who runs, all right, they're going to face this problem. Bernie Sanders, again, if it happens to Bernie, there are going to be a whole bunch of people out here saying, see, I told you so. And it's not something I'm looking forward to doing. Because I would love to see a matchup between Trump and a truly independent-minded person who has our best interests at heart. So that's my video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check me out over on Rockfin. Going to have different content over there. And if you can subscribe to this channel, and also if you can help me out via Patreon. It is the holiday season. I understand people are out there shopping and buying presents and so forth. But if you can afford, say, a couple of bucks a month via Patreon as a subscriber, I'm looking to get to, my goal over there is $1,000 for a month on Patreon, and that's between this channel and my music-based channel, which again, I share the Patreon with both channels. So technically I'm running 3 channels right now if you include the Rockfin channel. So whatever you can do to help me out. Believe it or not, this is actual work, and I do this almost every day. I typically take part of the weekend off, if not all of it, but I'm devoted to this, and I'm hoping to continue to grow this channel and to get more people from all, I guess, ends of the political spectrum together to take back our country from these ruling elites who are destroying democracy as we know it. So that's it. See you soon.